Hi, I am Hiral. Welcome to our channel Computer Saarthi. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon.
Hello everyone, in today's lecture we learned about IPO cycle, hardware and software. Let's start. In standard 1 we learned about a computer which is run by electricity. In second standard we learned about the parts of computers, different variant part of the computer. In today's video we learn about IPO cycle, hardware and software. Let's begin. We all are aware with this system which is known as a computer system. But this system contains many parts, like our body contains ears, nose, eyes, legs, hands. The same way this computer system also contains some parts like monitor, CPU, keyboard and mouse. These four parts of this computer system is known as the basic or primary parts of the computer system. Without these four basic parts, we cannot use a computer system. Okay, let's see the working of this computer system. Okay, the working of the computer can be defined by these three steps. The step number 1 is input. Step number 2 is process. And the step number 3 is output. Let's see the input, process and output in detail. First one is the input. Data or instruction which is entered by using keyboard or mouse. Okay, means that whichever data that we fed into the computer system by using keyboard and mouse, that fed the data known as the input. Let's take an example. If we are typing something in the computer by using keyboard, that time what we are doing, we giving the instructions or data to the computer system that you have to write something. Okay, we are talking about mouse. Then whenever we are going to select something into the computer screen, that time we give a input to the computer system that you have to select some particular icon, or you have to select some particular portion for me. That means we are, whatever data that we are inserting into the computer system is known as input. Second one is a process. The computer converts the data into the meaningful information by using CPU. The data that we already entered into the computer by using keyboard and mouse, on that data, computer systems part named CPU performs some operation onto that input that we already entered and generates a one result. That the operation function that is done by a CPU on input, that is known as process. Next one is the output. Information on final result sent by a computer after processing the data that we already that I already told you, that the CPU performs some operation onto the input that we already given to the computer by using keyboard and mouse. After this operation, means that processing, computer generates a one result. That result is known as output. Okay, so let's see. That's input, process and output. These three things are known as input, process, output cycle, that is IPO cycle. In IPO cycle, it's initials of this input, process and output. I stand for input, P stands for process and O stands for output. Let's take a look on one more time on it, that what is IPO cycle. Input, process and output. These three things combiningly known as input, process and output cycle, that is IPO cycle. Okay, we saw about input, process and output, that is IPO cycle on which computer are worked. All the computers are worked. Okay, this process, output and IPO cycle. Now we will learn about hardware and software. That what is hardware and what is software. Okay, the different parts of the computer divided into the two categories. How many categories? In two categories. Namely, the categories is hardware, first one, and the second one is a software. Computer divided into the two categories. The first one is a hardware and second one is a software. Let's take a look on this hardware and software in detail. Okay, the first one is a hardware. The physical parts of a computer that we can see and touch are known as a hardware. The parts of the computer system that we can see and touch, that particular parts are known as hardware. Like monitor, we can see it and touch it. If we are taking a mouse, of course we can see it and touch it. CPU, of course we also can touch it and see it. And if we are going to talk about keyboard, then also we can see it and touch it. That means this all the parts of the computer system is known as hardware. Let's take a look on that parts in some details. First one is a CPU. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. CPU is the short form of the Central Processing Unit. As we already saw into the IPO cycle that the processing part done by using CPU. Okay, that means its name suggesting us that Central Processing Unit. That means process term. It means the CPU done a processing part of the computer system. Other types of hardware are connected to the CPU using wires. All the other devices like monitor, speaker, keyboard, mouse, these all the parts of the computer system are connected to the CPU by using wires. Next one is a monitor. Monitor is used for displaying the output. As I told you in that IPO portion that we learned just a few minutes ago, that we already learned about the output, right? What is output? The final result generated by CPU after performing some operation into the input. That result we can see into the monitor screen, right? Means monitor is used for displaying the output. Okay. Next one is a mouse. Mouse is used for giving instruction. That we already saw into the IPO part also, right? That whenever we fed the data into the computer system by using keyboard and mouse, that time we gave instructions to the computer system by using mouse. Okay. Next one is a keyboard. Keyboard is used for typing text. We all are aware with it because we all are using the keyboard. If we are using the smartphones, then also, of course, in that also we use a keyboard. If we want to send a message to anyone, then what we are doing? Typing hello and send the message. On the place that we typing hello, that place is known as keyboard. That means keyboard is used for typing text. Next one is a printer. Printer is used for printing the pictures and documents. Means that whatever thing that we can see into the computer screen that is on monitor, we can able to take that data onto the paper by using printer. That's why printer is used for printing pictures and documents. Next one is a scanner. Scanner is used for converting pictures and documents into the images. If we want to store our homework into the computer system, that time we just click the photos, right? That means what we have done, click the photos, right? And save it to the computer system, right? The same way the scanner doing the same thing, but instead of taking pictures, we have to just scan the data. That is our notebook. And that after scanning our notebook, the scanner convert into the image and store into the computer system. Means scanner is used for converting pictures and documents into the images. Okay. Next one is a speakers. We all are aware with the speakers, right? Speakers are used for listening music. Whatever music is playing into the computer system, if you want to hear that music or if you want to listen that audio, that just we have to attach the speaker with the computer system and we can able to listen that whatever playing into the computer system. Okay, let's take a look on software. The set of instructions that tells the hardware how to perform a particular task is known as software. The instructions that we already fed into the computer by using keyboard and mouse, the same way the already some instructions already given into the computer by using we can able to use a computer. That instruction tells all the hardwares, that means all the physical parts of the computer, that what you have to perform. The speakers, let's take a look example of speaker, which whatever playing into the monitor screen. Okay, how speaker know about that I have to play this audio file? How the instructions, yes, the some kind of instruction already fed into the computer system that tells the speakers that you have to play this song that is playing into the computer system right now. Okay, means the kind of instructions that tells the hardware that what you have to perform, that instruction is known as a software. Let's take some details regarding this software. We cannot see or touch a software. We are opposite of the hardware. We can see and touch the hardware of the computer system, but opposite of that we cannot see or touch a software. Okay, a computer needs software to work. Without software, computer would be no use. If we want to use a computer, the must we have a software that is already fed into the computer system. Okay, without this software or the particular instruction, we can't use a computer system. Okay, let's take a look example for this software. This is television. Okay, television itself is a hardware. That we, of course, television itself is a hardware because we can see and touch the television. But the program we watch on TV are software. It means the whatever playing into the TV, that particular program is known as a software, because that program we can touch that program, right? Or we can't, couldn't feel that program or the cartoon that you are watching all the day into the on TVs, right? That cartoon is a software. Okay. The other software programs are Microsoft Word, that is used for creating text document. If we want to create some document, if we are typing by using keyboard and we have to make one kind of a document, then we are going to use this MS Word. This is a paint used for drawing picture. If I want to draw pictures or if I want to draw something on a computer system, that time I must have to have software named paint. These softwares are already fed into the computer system. Okay, then how this IPO cycle hardware and software are related to each other, right? It's a question, na? That how IPO cycle hardware and software are related to each other. Let's see how this IPO cycle hardware and software are related to each other. Okay, for that we take the example. When we are entering the data, that is a maths problem, that is 2 plus 2, we fed into the computer system by using keyboard, that is 2 plus 2, and just click the mouse button and give an instruction to a summation of it. Okay, after that what the computer do? Computer performs the operation and generate the output. That output we can able to see onto the monitor screen. Means we can say that hardware is that which perform the input and output task, because we give input into the computer system by using keyboard and mouse, and the output we can able to see by using monitor. This both are hardwares, right? Whereas the software that does the processing or operation. The result generation part that it gives us, right? So we can't able to see that how it generates a 4 as a result. And we all are aware with the software that we cannot able to see and touch the software, right? The result generation process, we can't able to see that. That means the software that does the processing, that means in IPO cycle, the processing part of the computer system is done by software. Okay, let's take a look on by diagram. Into the IPO cycle, input and output are related to hardware, whereas process is related to the software. In this way, IPO cycle hardware and software are related to each other. Okay, let's see that what we know right now. The computer system consists of 4 main parts, that is a monitor, CPU, keyboard and mouse. Different parts of the computer that perform a different kind of work, that we all are aware that monitor used for displaying pictures, that means output. CPU that perform processing or done the operation into the input given by keyboard and mouse, right? Working of the computer can be defined as input, process and output, right? That working of the computer system that we saw in the terms of input, process and output, that is known as input process output cycle, that is IPO cycle. And the different parts of the computer are divided into the 2 categories, that is a hardware and software. Example of hardware, if we are going to take, that is a monitor, CPU, keyboard, mouse, printer, speakers, etc. Okay, let's take a look on some keyword that we already saw into the lecture. The first one is a input, that the data or instructions given to the computer by using keyboard or the mouse. The data or instruction is known as input. Second one is a process that converts the data into the meaningful information with the help of CPU. The input that is given by keyboard or mouse, on that input the computer performs some operation, and that operation performed by CPU that and generates the one result or a final result that we can see. Okay, that the operation done by a CPU is known as a process. Next one is a output, information or final result sent by a computer after processing the data. That I told you in the process, but that the CPU done some processing or the operation and generates the result. That final result generated by CPU after processing that result is known as output. Next one is a hardware, the physical part of the computer that we can see and touch, like keyboard, mouse, CPU, monitor, speaker and scanner kind of. Okay. Next one is a software, set of instructions that tells hardware how to perform a particular task. The software that means that tells the each and every hardware that what you have to do, which part you have to perform, which task you have to do and what time you have to do. This all the instructions given by the software. In today's video we learn about IPO cycle hardware and software, right? In our next video we will learn about types of software. Okay, thank you.
Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon.